We all know you need to be careful about your diet when it comes to things like food allergies or sensitivity to gluten.
But food issues can also come into play when it comes to dating. You think about it, I mean, most dates, first dates for sure, are centered around food. You want to make sure you're in tune with your potential mate's diet restrictions. You want to make sure that, well, it's something that you're okay incorporating into your life, too. So joining us with some advice on this is local professional matchmaker Stephanie Kluver from It's Just Lunch. Stephanie, great to have you with us.
Good morning.
All right, when we first talked about this, I think some people were like, come on, like, how big of a deal is this? How big of a deal is it?
It's becoming a bigger deal. Everyone has a different diet restriction. We have vegan, people are eating raw now, vegetarians, and when you go on a date and that's all you're talking about, it puts a really weird spin on the date.
I do think it's more important than people realize because it can be long term. If you keep going out, then it becomes probably a bigger deal.
Right, and when you're going into a date and you're sitting there and the whole conversation is based on what am I going to get off this menu, that's not going to create chemistry.
So you just need to get out of the restaurant, do something else for a first date?
Well, first dates are great in restaurants and having a lunch, a brunch, or a drink. It's Just Lunch. We say no dinners.
Your company's called It's Just Lunch,
yes,
so obviously.
Yeah, right. We stay away from dinner because it's too long. We want it to just be an hour. And the great thing about eating on a date is it gives you something to do. You don't have to constantly be making eye contact and making sure you're super focused on someone.
So do you talk it out beforehand, or how do you do this?
You can do that. So at It's Just Lunch, we arrange that beforehand based on your diet restrictions. If you're doing this on your own, either dating online or you're meeting a friend, look at the menu beforehand, plan it out. Don't go to the restaurant hungry. If you don't know the menu, don't be, bringing out like a snack in the middle of the restaurant. So rude. So know the menu beforehand and know what you have going. And if you're going to someone's house, please bring a dish that you can eat or let the host know beforehand.
I do think there's some responsibility on both sides of this deal.
Right.
If you are someone with food allergies or sensitivities, like, there's nothing more boring than listening to someone talk for 40 minutes about what they can and can't eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all right, we get it.
We just had a client, she went on 6 dates, and she was asking me, what am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm not having chemistry, these men aren't asking me out again. And reading what the men were saying about her, the only thing they had to say is, well, she's a vegetarian and she gets salad dressing on the side. That has nothing to do with dating. If you walked away just thinking about her diet restrictions, then there's no chemesry.
But you have to be understanding also, if you have no sensitivities, that, like, hey, people, it is a real thing.
Right, to be respectful. Once in a while someone will say, do you miss cheeseburgers? Or, they'll bring up that rude thing.
I mean, it's a fair question.
It's a fair question. What if someone drinks and someone doesn't drink?
Right, that's a whole different thing too, right? The one person's really enjoying that, and it might be awkward on a date if the other person isn't. But don't hide meat in the meal you have your date. That would be strange.
Don't let the burger break up your love.
Exactly, and don't bring up what they miss and what they're missing out on.
Is there a point where you just say it can't work?
If you're a huge meat eater, a chef, or, again, when you bring up the alcohol,
if you're a food critic,
you don't drink, and you're a bartender, you have to think about how big of this, but don't make food the center of your life. Eat to live, don't live to eat. I think that we don't want to get too focused on it.
We're doing it all wrong.
You're not following that at all, though.
Well, I'm a food critic, so, like...
You kind of live to eat.
Yeah. I live to eat.
But you and Alyssa probably
could you marry a vegetarian?
No.
Yeah. With as much as you love pork?
Probably not. Probably not.
Could be tough,
All right. That would be worse for me than, like, a different religion. Like, that would be fine. That would be fine. Stephanie, thank you.
Thanks for having me.